All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Digital Success Hot Seat. Leanne Cohen's here, Digital Success Catalyst and owner of the agency Marketing Leap. And the whole idea of these interviews is to have some incredible entrepreneurs that have been through this amazing online journey, share their stories and share some of the wins and even some of the challenges to help you on your journey when it comes to grow. And today I am really excited to have Zahrina Robertson on the hot seat. So Zahrina is actually in Sydney, and for the last 8 years, she's been looking after established business owners and actually providing them, and entrepreneurs and professionals, and providing them with branding and videography that actually makes them stand out and elevates them. So over the last 8 years, she's had obviously some incredible wins and some incredible challenges. So I can't wait to hear a little bit more about her journey. So welcome, Zahrina. How are you?
And thank you for having me, Leanne. Hi, everybody.
All right. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. So, what made you decide to start your business 8 years ago?
Oh, it was probably a little bit longer than that in the thought process of all the branding part. I come from a marketing background, and I used to work for a corporate as well. And then I just really felt that it was time to leave. I wasn't there for too long, but I just felt there was a yearning for the creative side in me, and it was just pulling at me these strings to get photography. So I never went a traditional route of photography, going from, say, wedding photographer or kid photographer and all that. I actually went and dived in and did events. So I did event photography. Then I did branding from my background of marketing and that belief, and started that way. And then I went and did a couple of little weddings there, but I didn't want to keep on doing weddings. But I started a long time ago because I started when Facebook sort of opened up, and my son Taj is 12 years old now, and when Facebook started opening up, I was doing photography just before that and things, and then when Facebook opened up, and that's when I launched really into what I do now, and a lot more in depth of what I do now, which is branding entrepreneurs, speakers, and leaders, and to position themselves to attract their clients.
So what made you decide to go down that route of the personal branding? Because I know you've got a bit of a creative bent because you paint as well, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just crazy. Yeah.
So what made you decide like personal branding?
Well, why did I go personal branding is because I've always been intrigued with people's stories, people, marketing, business, entrepreneurialism, or entrepreneurship, and that all of that, right? I just couldn't not be curious to not be more involved with the creative process. I want to be involved in the creative process in all aspects, right? Molding somebody, finding out their story, creating those images that smash them out of the water. I couldn't go out in my business and me being average, not world class, not producing great images that smash people out of the water. And I just couldn't do that to myself. So I went down this route of, gosh, instead of just holding a camera, boring, same in the world of samesies with all the other photographers, I just knew that I had a mission to develop in creating people's stories through images and video. And doing that has developed online courses and books and education and speaking and motivation and all these other things that have given me the offshoots that feed my soul. And it's so interesting that I love what I do, but the offshoots of holding a camera and taking a $1 million photograph equals me absolutely flourishing in all the other aspects of that drive me. that, the spin-offs, because I get to see the transformation of people and see how they go from bland beige to $1 million in a millisecond. I love that.
Okay.
I think that's so powerful. But what's been really good is that it's inspired me to share my message on stage and speak about it and get people inspired. And from that, I feel like I'm living the dream.
That's fantastic. So how do you do that? How do you actually go from being a photographer and being interested in people's stories to actually speaking on stage?
I got noticed for what I'm doing. Like, my work is not a boring headshot. So my work is very high-end creative, as well as I've worked with a lot of the thought leaders and Australian speakers and like some really known people around the world as well. And Arnold Schwarzenegger and Richard Branson and
Really?
and all sorts of different people. Yeah, yeah.
So was that from the events that you were doing that you came in touch with these people, or
Yeah,
the sort of thing that people dream of?
yeah, it's true. But I was asked as well, because I'm known for doing what I do really fast and really, it's just, I love producing world-class photos and work. And so because I've got that ethos, I've got that value system, I attract those opportunities with the right type of people who really do want to smash it out of smash it out of the water in the same way that I want to smash them out of the water. So in regards to that, it's opportunities. I've written a book, Magnetic Branding, and I've written 10 other books as well. And that's
10.
yeah. And so this is both a lot of my thought leadership about personal branding and positioning people to attract their ideal client. And I work through brand archetypes and, unpacking them as clients and my customer story. And I guess it started from photography, but I ended up doing and going into video as well. And this also helped with my creativity. It helped with challenging my mindset. It helped with with video, it's a different medium to photos. And because I like challenging myself and growing as a person, of course I'm going to go into video. So video storytelling, video positioning, so helping people capture their story. So it's been really interesting, the journey. And now I'm about to launch a global brand, a global video brand, which is exciting.
That is exciting. Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us about, obviously along the way, this hasn't been smooth sailing. Regardless of what you see on Facebook, it is never smooth sailing for anybody. What are some of the challenges that you've actually found for yourself along the way, getting to where you are now, about to launch a global brand?
Challenges. I think when you're a leader, I'm Australia's leading branding photographer, videographer, and when you are a leader, I am always innovating, always. I love it, and you do get copycats, and that's fine. Copycats everywhere in all industries. So that's one thing, but the other thing is coming up and being innovative and different to how I want to be, that way, in what serves me the best way, and I think that is that's kind of challenging. But when you find it, which I've found recently with the pivoting and doing different things as well, it's offshoots. It's actually offshoots of what I'm already been doing that I'm actually enjoying, that I'm making them bigger and more meaningful and shifting more people. And so I want to grow a global movement about video. And so I'm about to embark on that. So instead of just one-on-one, which I love that, I'm doing it one-to-many, and I'm ready for that. And I really feel blessed to have had that time, or this time in COVID, to sit here and think, tick boxes that kind of I like doing, And I think reflecting, I think if people are watching this, reflect on what you're really good at. Please, whatever you do, don't even tick the box if you're not even good at it, you know. Leave that to somebody else. And I think that being true to yourself is so important in this day and age, because I think we just don't have time to let ourselves and our customers down if we're not true to ourselves. And I think looking at your values and tapping into that is really important.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing with COVID too, you know, like this, the entire globe has basically stopped. And there's a period where, I mean, and there's some areas that still are, but there was a period where everything just stopped. And it's amazing how people have come out of that. Like there are some people that have just looked around and gone, okay, what else can I do? How can I change this? How can I make it better? And the technology and doing things online now, it's just ramped up. Something
Ramped up.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Ramped up. Like, I mean, in your business as well, Leanne, I mean, my gosh, you'd be cracking it, you know? I mean, like, I mean, your business is cracking it. And I've got, like, people who want images and videos and things like I'm cracking it too. So I'm going to, there's people who need refreshing, reinventing, you know, they need to launch, you know. So I'm doing all those images and storytelling for those sort of people. And that, to me, makes my heart sing, because there was a moment where I was thinking, oh, dear, you know, oh, this is coming to a creaky, like, you know, like a train, like a fast train. And it was like that. And I'm like, oh dear, I felt that a little bit maybe in April, but then my mind started going, oh, and then I started really thinking about the what ifs, right? And the what ifs and the opportunities. And this is not just happening to me, it's happening to so many people. We're all in the same boat. Let's look after each other. And I think that's where you know, we can pivot in the right way, that's heartfelt, or we pivot in, you know, that's why I'm saying that when you start evaluating where you really are, where you want to go, this is the time to do it. This is really the time to do it, because we're under different kind of circumstances and mindset that we are having to consider a lot more than what we needed to before, a lot more, you know. And actually pushed us as humans to think outside the box. I love this, you know, of what ifs, what you know, the opportunities. So it's exciting.
So how do you take a photography business and create an online movement? How does that trajectory happen?
I've done beta already. I've done a group already. I've done my experiment already. And then I've got it's a mindset. I've always wanted to do things simply, so I've just created something really wonderfully simple to serve. And how do I do it? It's because it's based on my values. It's based on what I believe to be true. And when it comes out, when we launch soon, that it ticks the boxes for me, right? And then because I've tested it, it ticks the boxes for a lot of other people. So if the boxes are all ticked, you know, it's good.
So you talk about your values. What are your values? Like for someone that's starting a business and they're listening to us talk, and they go, "That's great. How do I work out what my values are?" Like,
well, this is interesting. I just in my book, with personal branding and working out a personal brand, it starts from scratch and your personality archetype. And then in my book, I've got a list of values, and then I've got business vibe. So when you look at your personal, like when you start working out your business, it's really important to tap back onto those values. Say, for example, you get a list of 100 values, you know, and you start looking at, are you, you know, trustworthy, insightful, loving, fun, joyful, you're family orientated, healthy, playful, you know, all these sort of things. Are you thoughtful? Are you strong? You know, warm-hearted? You know, these sort of things. If you look at a list of values and you start circling the ones that really resonate with you, really do that, hone that down of what the top 3 values that you know that really resonate with you. And then I've included over here the business vibe. Are you long established, proven, academic, hip, popular, responsible. So looking at all these sort of things that really help melt down who you are and then ramp you up to attract and position you to be the right type of brand to attract the right type of client. So say, for example, right, I create world-class images, world-class work, world-class storytelling and positioning for customers and clients. So I do a lot of personal branding strategy with clients and about their business. And because I do that and I enjoy it, I work with people who are leaders in their field that love that know that they'll get that quality work to then have their brand massaged and developed and created and curated to attract that ideal client. Now, because I put it out there, that is important to me, because I don't just like lifting up a camera and taking 3,000 photos of someone and going, let's hope there's something in there. I strategically know what I'm after. So because I'm strategically know what I'm after for my client, and I don't need to take 50,000 photos, right? I just know to take the winning shots straight up. And that's the power of working with a professional that knows what they're doing in that regard. So my values are deliver value, but world class, and I really believe in that. And because it attracts world class type of people. So if someone looks at that messaging or that feel, then they want a $50 photographer, well, they're going to go to that $50 photographer. And if people want that really good, solid brand look in video and photography, then they'll come to me. And that's a real natural progression. And it's just the conversations you have with customers. Because when your brand values are aligned and you've got your business vibe aligned and you've got your website aligned, and you know this, and your business assets and your branding assets, then everything that's aligned attracts your ideal client. And that's really important. And also, another thing, the other layer of that is actually it attracts your marketing partners and people who want to work with you. Then it attracts the opportunities you get. And I just think that this is just all marketing 101 for me. I've been doing it for a long time. And that's how I've just developed my business that way. And I do that, I know how to go to the next level, which is a global brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing that I find with clients when new clients come on board, is actually going through everything that they have online, and the amount of times that even the business names aren't the same. Like even the handles that they have for the different social medias, the platforms are completely different. They've got different profile pictures, they've got different images. And I mean, these days, people have to see and hear you 22 times before they start recognizing who you are. So if it's not aligned, they're not going to know who you are. They're not going to find you.
Do you know what? That's interesting. You said 22 times, right? 10 years ago, I was saying the same thing, but 7 times. Like about 10 times. Like 10 years ago, I'm going around 7 times. I need to see you. That is increased from 10 years ago to what you're saying 22 times now.
Well, you think between Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest and LinkedIn and then messaging, and we're constantly being bombarded. So that's I guess that's the big thing is, it is definitely worthwhile spending that when you are starting out to spend that time and spend that money getting the right branding laid out, because it just makes everything else so much easier, doesn't it?
Oh, much easier. And then you're clear about your avatar, and then you're clear about how to present yourself. You're clear about your message you need to speak about. And it's so organic and fun. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
So with everything that you've done, what are 3 things that you've been most proud of in this journey, like from leaving corporate to where you are now?
I think number 1 has been innovative. I've really pushed the limits about what I do, how I do it. I do surprise myself all the time, and how I've grown as a person to deliver even more value to my clients, and in a deeper level, like it's gone to a different level, like a deeper spiritual level, a deeper understanding about them, a real deeper empathetic type way as well. And I don't look at people as commodities. I look at them as vessels to change other people, to change their tribe. And I really think that's important. And I think that as I've gone on, it's so interesting that I can, the photo is a one-dimensional flat thing, but I look at it being three-dimensional, and if, as an example, that and video, and if I'm not feeling the person in the photo, if I'm not feeling them in the video, I'm tapping off. So that's how I help even get deeper, to help deliver more value for my clients when I'm giving them feedback about what the work I've done and going, actually, you know what, photo A and B, don't go with A, go with B, because 3 seconds later, you're closing the deal on me in your eyes. You're motivating me, inspirational in your eyes. I mean, it's so crucial that people who get their imagery and their branding done online get the right advice, because I see it every day. LinkedIn, Facebook, I see images of people and they're just not hitting the mark, not hitting the mark. And when I actually ask them, do you feel like this is hitting the mark? They know it's not. And because I've asked the question, they feel bad that they had no choice, they didn't speak up, or they actually didn't listen to themselves intuitively, that they knew that it wasn't hitting the mark. Don't do it. Don't put yourself up online when you're not hitting the 100% mark about your brand visually. It's important, because you said, we've got 1 millisecond with images, right?
Yeah.
22 touch points. Imagine that. 1 bad image, 2 bad images going 22 times. It's not good.
Exactly. And that's the other thing too, is a lot of people don't realize that when you are having your photography done or having a video put together, you're the customer. This is your representation maybe for the next 2 or 3 years. So, you're right. You do need to speak up and say, I'm really not comfortable with this, or I don't like the look of that, so that you can change it, because this is going to be you online, and this is how people are going to see you for the next couple of years.
Here's another thing. This is crazy. I've always said in the beginning of my business, always, if I'm not going to take a good photograph, I'm not going to do good work, I am not doing what I'm doing. Full stop. A piece of my values, right, to myself, my own promise. I will not be in business. Don't want to do it if I'm not going to deliver the goods. Anyway, so I had somebody come to me a couple of weeks ago, and they said they were delivered a gagging order by a photographer because the photographer didn't do the good work. They put a gagging order on the customer because they don't want to give them back the money as a refund. But as part of the refund, they wanted to get this, my client now, that woman to sign a gagging order because of their bad work.
Wow.
That's shocking. So blew my mind. Why would you be in business in this day and age? Even for me, because it's a photographer, it killed me. But because why would you be in business when we need to deliver gagging orders in this day and age when you do shit work? So you know what I mean? I really got really passionate about that. And I think that it comes back to my values. Don't be in business if you're not going to deliver. And even if you are going to deliver, tidy it up.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to deliver bad and then do a gagging order on top and then don't give a refund. It's sort of really odd. So that behavior is really, really interesting. That I found that really eye-opening. So I really believe that. Please go back to your values. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing. Again, as a business owner, this is you. So you do have a say. You can't, you don't just have to stand there and do it, the photographer. I mean, you've got to obviously bow to the expertise to a certain degree, but you're right. This is you online everywhere. And I think it's about that connection. You've got to, the whole thing with images and with photography and videography is to have that connection. So that's, and especially with video, it's instant. The minute you start talking, people are like, oh my God, I can't handle that voice. Or, oh, this is really interesting. You know, where's it going to go next? So, yeah, people still want that connection online. And it's ironic, you know, the more that we are online, the more connection people want.
Oh, I know.
Which is amazing.
So true.
So you've got a new client coming to you, they're starting out, they're really excited about their business. What are 2 to 3 tips that you would give them to help them when it comes to showing up online?
This happened yesterday. So a new client came to me and showing up online. Definitely, yes, go down that values route, but also just really, it's so important. I take every single client of mine through a strategy session, working out what it is and what's important to them as a personal brand, and then their story. So start working out and thinking about what really is important to you, that you want to showcase and share with people. You know,
It's not about the money. People can see right through that. It can't be about the money. You're right. It's got to be about what you're sharing, what you're doing.
Yeah, it's I say this to all my people, and it's who you have to be in service, and when you're in service, you're going to do and be the best version of you. And I think the money thing went a long time ago with me. It's more spiritual now. It's more higher level. It's
Oh, I think I've lost you. Okay, I think we've lost Zahrina there. Yeah, no, it looks like her internet has frozen. Well, that's a bit disappointing because I was really excited to hear the other couple of tips that she was coming up with when it comes to personal branding and standing out online. So I'll just see if she comes back in the next couple of minutes. If she doesn't, I'll actually organize for her to come back at a later stage, and we can run through some of the tips that she would be able to share with somebody, you know, starting out online. And even if you're not just starting out, but you're halfway through your journey, and it's still not resonating, you're still not connecting with your ideal client, it's not too late to change and pivot. It's not too late to have a look at how you're showing up and have a look at your branding and how you're standing out. And you know, having people like Zahrina on to talk about, you know, their experience when it comes to sharing your story. And at the end of the day, even though we are online, people like to deal with people. So thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, I'll organize to get Zahrina back on at a later stage and we can run through her tips. But I really appreciate you joining us today, and I will see you next week for the next Digital Success Hot Seat. Bye.